Hey everybody, welcome back to another amazing installment of ShiftyRants. By now you've probably heard about Bill Nye, the fag enabler guy, and how he came out with his new Netflix series, Bill Nye Saves the World. Hold on, I'm going to take this shit off. Thank you. So, I'm not necessarily going to talk about Bill Nye's series today. Rather, I'm going to talk about the reactions to it. Most of the criticisms of it, I could say, are pretty fair, but some of them are just downright retarded. And today, we're just going to discuss one of those.
So first thing first, he mentions the fucking obvious by saying that there are loads of different flavors of sexuality.
Of course, enlightened and forward-thinking, but not everyone sees it this way. But there are lots of flavors to sexuality.
Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Now, she seemed to have missed the point that Bill Nye was just saying, that not everyone sees it like this. I mean, yeah, it's just so obvious to everyone, like these guys and this fine gentleman over here. You know, just because you and I realize that there are multitudes of sexualities doesn't necessarily mean that the whole world or even the rest of the country sees it like that.
And as vanilla, I feel that I am the most natural of the ice creams.
I don't want to be like the party pooper here. Technically, being straight enables you to reproduce, fertilize an egg with a sperm that is natural.
Yeah, well, look who's pointing out the obvious now, you fucking hypocrite.
You can't reproduce something with two dicks or fucking... I'm not saying that homosexuality isn't natural. I'm the last person to say that having sex with someone of the same sex isn't natural.
You say you think that homosexuality is just as natural as anything else, but it's weird that you say that, because it's almost like you just insinuated that it's almost more natural to be straight. I mean, why else would you mention procreation at all? You know, just because something is more common doesn't mean it's more natural. Everything that fucking exists is natural.
And therefore, the rest of you should just go ahead and also be vanilla.
Oh.
It's the one true flavor.
No!
Alright, quick pause for a moment. The one thing I won't damn her video for is the fact that she pointed out how actually unfunny this fucking show is. I totally agree. Bill, you're a smart guy, you're a science guy, and that's how I love you. But you're not funny. Leave the comedy to the comedy guys.
Meet you at the bowl!
This is on! Oh, yes. Yeah, get it! Woo! Get in here, nuts.
Can we not encourage gangbangs, please? Can we teach people a bit of decency? Having a gangbang is not something to be proud of. Again, this is exactly how STDs spread.
Oh, look at that, everyone. The woman who's clearly never been able to achieve orgasm in her entire life is gonna tell me and you how to have sex and who to have sex with. Now, if I'm an adult and I meet other adults who want to have sex in a group, and I say it's okay, and they say it's okay, and everyone's okay with it, where exactly is that indecent? Where is the fucking problem with that? Why are you shaming people for having sex differently than you would?
Again, this is exactly how STDs spread.
For someone who criticized Bill Nye for pointing out the obvious, you sure point out a lot of the fucking obvious. Yes, sex is how STDs spread. Do you know how you could protect yourself? Condoms. Simple as that. Condoms. And just being open with your partner.
This one goes out to all my bypass who identify as ladies! And Skippy Home Slice, sing it with me all night. That's how you want.
don't identify as a gender, please stop. Unless you are actually going under some sort of gender reassignment surgery, having hormone therapy, or have gender dysphoria, then please stop labeling yourself as something you're not.
Who the fuck is this woman to tell anyone how they can identify? I mean, I doubt that she's actually looked into what actually goes into transitioning from one gender into another. One, social stigma, changing your birth certificate and all other forms of identification. Going under the knife is scary. Hormones are expensive. The whole thing is time consuming. And then once you're done all that, your friends and family, if they don't accept you, then because they are this one way, they want other people to perceive them that same way. It really does mean a lot to them. And for you to be like, oh, you have to do this and this and this and that before I accept you as who you would like to be, you're kind of a cunt. I mean, for fuck's sake, have some goddamn compassion.
Satire love may have some butt stuff.
Ew. Do you want your anal muscles to be so loose that shit literally falls out of your rectum? Because that is what butt stuff does, okay?
That will happen to you if you get fucked every day by the biggest of dicks. Not everyone who has anal sex has their sphincter fall out of their body and shit fall out.
It's evolution, ain't nothing new.
Butt stuff is not evolution. Butt stuff is not evolution. Butt stuff is not evolution. Butt stuff is not evolution.
Homosexuality in animals. Bison, cats, dogs, goats, orcas, brown bears, cattle, elephants, horses, pandas, cavies, common dolphins, foxes, giraffes, koalas. Now that is just some on this very short list of animals. The actual list is like way too fucking long. I mean, and that's just for mammals. It's like over 100 mammals to display homosexual behavior. I mean, there ain't no pussy, so they must be doing something. Dolphins will fuck the blowholes of other male dolphins consensually. Now, animals don't just do this because they're like, you know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Like, you know, they're not just like, it's not like, hey, I'll suck your chimp dick and, you know, you give me bananas or whatever. A lot of these animals just do it for fun. Now, the fact that they go and most of them will inevitably have sex with the opposite gender to procreate, does this show that they're not really gay? Well, no, because there are lots of people who are gay, who are married to women, and then they come out years later when they're ready. And they have children with the opposite sex. Who you're with in your marriage really doesn't have anything to do with whether you're homosexual or not.
So the people who have the highest fertility rate, like in Niger, are doing almost no emitting, right? So
they burn some charcoal now and then.
Well, so the average Nigerian emits 0.1 metric tons of carbon annually. How many does the average American emit?
I did that with my coffee this morning.
Yeah, 16 metric tons is what the average.
160 times.
Yeah, exactly. And so our two kids are way more problematic. The Nigerians with an average 7 children are not the problem when it comes to climate change.
Yes, I agree that climate change is an actual problem and it needs to be sorted out, and we do need to sort out the consummation of electricity and everything else, all that other shit. The reason why they have so many fucking kids is not because they care about what's happening with the environment.
Let's watch that clip of Bill Nye again.
So the people who have the highest fertility rate, like in Niger, are doing almost no emitting. Well, so the average Nigerian emits 0.1 metric tons of carbon annually. How many does the average American emit?
I did that with my coffee this morning.
Yeah, 16 metric tons is what the average.
160 times.
Yeah, exactly. And so our two kids are way more problematic. The Nigerians with an average 7 children are not the problem.
Oh yeah, that's right, he didn't fucking say that. And it just went right over your head what the fuck they were even talking about. The only reason they brought that up is to compare them, saying, wow, isn't it really amazing that despite that Nigerians can have like 7 kids, like 1 or 2 of ours totally outmatches them when it comes to their carbon footprint. He didn't say anything about the Nigerians care more about the environment. I don't even know how you misinterpreted what he said.
So should we have policies that penalize people for having extra kids in the developed world?
So I do think that we should at least consider it.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. So let's get people in Western countries to stop having kids, you know, the people that are actually solving the problems with climate change.
What? If you look at this graph, you'll see that developed countries have a larger carbon footprint than the rest of the globe combined. Even if there are more people in these nations that are focusing their attention on cutting down their carbon emissions, their efforts are wasted. Because the people who live in these countries have lifestyles that are inherently dangerous to the environment. There are more of these people than there are others trying to save the environment. These societies have economic systems in place that require consumption, and consumption is not stable. Western societies are not solving climate change.
Consider it as like, do it.
One of the things that we could do that's kind of least policy-ish is we could encourage our culture and our norms to change, right?
Don't get me wrong, I really do think people should stop having so many fucking kids. Every time I see a person with a pushchair, it pisses me off. These useless little crying things, I don't like it. Every time I see a person with a pushchair, it pisses me off.
So, you don't agree with legislation limiting the amount of children that people can have. You don't even agree that our culture should be different so people should stop having as many fucking kids, but you still want less children in the world? So if you don't want legislation, neither do I, but you don't want the culture to change, what exactly do you fucking want? Well, that was retarded. And I'm glad we're done with it. Now, yet again, I need to clarify because I know some people are gonna misconstrue what I'm trying to do. I wasn't even necessarily defending all of Bill Nye's show. I've watched it, it's whatever. But people are looking at some of the dumb things that the show has produced and just dismissing the whole thing. And occasionally one of those people makes a stupid video, and I just thought I should respond to it. Alright guys, I'm gonna go have a fucking gay orgy, and I'm not gonna stop until my sphincter falls out. Ow! Oh, ow.